Hey everybody, this is the fourth episode of Bring on the Geekdom. I have two co-hosts with me today. I got Russell and Troy. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Go for it, Troy. After
Okay.
you.
Troy from is currently in Seattle. Work for an insurance provider and as accounts payable. Been a geek since I was 12 years old, or probably before that, but 12 is when I say because that's when I started reading comics.
That's pretty
So
badass, dude.
yeah, especially when you know my age.
That'll do it.
But you take over, Russell. What's about you?
I am a storyboard artist, color scripter, and effects artist. I go to DigiPen. My name's Russell. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that. Hello. I let's see. I teach at a daycare center on my weekdays, and I teach animation to fourth graders on the weekends, and I get like 3 hours a week to myself. And in the 3 hours, I like to play video games, watch movies, love film. Let's do this.
Cool, pretty fun hobbies. So we're gonna get into the Disney streaming service thing. So I'm gonna run down a couple of things we're gonna talk about today. So first of all, they got a bunch of Star Wars shows coming out. They got the Lando Calrissian show coming out, The Mandalorian, the Falcon, Winter Soldier, Loki, Wanda. That's stuff we care about. And then they got a couple of animation ones. They're actually doing a Frozen 2 documentary, which I could care less about, but that's pretty cool. The amount will be $6 a month, totaling $69 a year. That's pretty cool. You know what I mean? So what do you guys takes on this?
So I actually didn't hear about the Frozen documentary.
Yeah,
that should be interesting.
Yeah.
Is that like about the technical aspect?
Yeah, they're gonna be talking about like how they made the movie, because like it's kind of weird because nobody's seen it yet.
I'll say this: so like back when Frozen 1 came out, I was still in a college for coding and game design, and one of the like side assignments was that we had to render ice. It was like one of the stretch goals. So I remember setting up the ice to render on my computer, and then my roommate was like, "Hey, let's all go watch that new Disney movie." And the Let It Go scene blew me away. I was just like totally just flabbergasted watching the ice create itself. And then I come back home about like 5 hours later, and the ice that I had set up on my computer had completely destroyed my laptop.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was trying to render a still puddle for 8 hours.
Damn,
and it broke my laptop. And then I watched a movie about building an ice castle for like a minute of animation, and I'm just completely blown away. So.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry about that. That sucks.
Like, well, no, it's fine. It's just like.
Yeah,
it is what it is. But.
Oh, also, yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, what do you think, Troy? You gonna get the streaming service?
If they're going to do what they're saying with the cast of the Avengers and everything else, heck yeah.
For also the What If series, also that's gonna be pretty cool.
Like, and you're figuring for $69 a year, I think that's a little bit of a comment we need to look at. That's not a bad price when you're figuring what you would normally buy for 3 videos.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah, definitely. One of the things that I'm just like getting, like there's only like 3 streaming services that I'm actually looking forward to, like, and that's Netflix. Russell, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I just want to make sure. We've had like a bunch of technical difficulties today, guys. So like 3 streaming services I'm working into are Netflix, Apple TV, and Disney. And as I said before, it's not going to be Disney versus Netflix. It's Disney versus Apple. Like those two are going to go to war this fall.
No.
And plus Apple's not fucking around. Like they literally got Spielberg. They got I got the lineup right here. They got Spielberg, J.J. Abrams, Jason Momoa. I think Jodie Foster's involved, which I think she's kind of overrated.
Here's the problem. I think that Spielberg has already made a name for himself. He's already like, I'm already the most famous director. I don't really care.
And it's
not care. I take that back. Not care. But I see like a lot of his projects he doesn't have nearly as much passion as he did back in like the 90s.
Hey, did
And
you
yeah.
sorry, did you see Ready Player One? Like, what did I would love to see your take on that movie. I've asked all my viewers like, what do they think of the movie Ready Player One? Have you seen it?
I read it and saw it.
Could have been better.
The book is amazing.
Yeah.
The movie could have used a little bit, could have followed the book a little bit closer, but by itself, because I saw the movie first. I do this thing, if I haven't read a book first, I'll do the movie first.
Yeah.
And I thought the movie, for what it was worth, was an excellent interpretation before I read the book.
Yeah.
And after reading the book, it's like, oh, I can see why they couldn't do this and this and this. It would have made that movie 6 hours long.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely. One interesting thing I wish they should have done is sort of like comment on how like, and this would have been like a really cool meta commentary. It's like how people sort of like look for like the Easter eggs, but don't actually like know like but don't actually dig deeper into the story's themes. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like you see, like I
I
mean, nothing wrong with Easter eggs at all. Like I love Easter eggs, but like people saying, "Oh, I only go for the movies to go see the Easter eggs," but it's like, really? Like that's not like they could have like what they could have done is like they had the challenges sort of like make these like things for like not because like they know the most about pop culture, but to understand the stories that they were like portraying. So like maybe like one like the Shining, like if like the
well,
Shining scene, like if all the freaking like levels were that where they were like going for these like iconic movies and sort of like commenting on them and like what they were about and sort of like trait the characters and sort of like have like trials for like how they could sort of like grow as people through pop culture. Like that would be pretty interesting, right?
Well, did you read the book?
Yeah, I did.
Go ahead, Russell.
I'll say that like I like giving like films a grade, like a test grade, and I'd give that film like a C minus. Honestly,
Yeah.
I thought that it was a lot more flash over substance.
Yeah.
The Shining scene was the most redeemable quality to it because I thought it was like, you know what? It seemed like the part where Spielberg had the most fun making it.
Yeah.
Because it was the one like Steven Spielberg doesn't know who Tracer is. Like Steven Spielberg doesn't give a shit. But he was just excited because he got to reshoot scenes from The Shining, which is like an amazing movie, and it came out in the 80s, which is like his golden age. So I felt like the entirety of Ready Player One in general was just like fan fiction. It was like, hey, here's a world where all of these things exist, and they didn't expand on that enough for me.
Yeah, I gotcha. That's true. Anyway, do you guys want to move on? So, do we said everything we want to say about the streaming service?
Oh yeah.
All right, cool.
It's just going to be amazing when it comes out.
Anyway, speaking of Star Wars, and that's a terrible transition, we're going to talk about this weekend with Star Wars Celebration. We're going to talk about a couple trailers that came out that one. So they had the Episode 9 trailer. They had the Fallen Jedi Order one, and they also had the Mandalorian sizzle reel, like it was leaked online. So, what are you guys' thoughts on these?
They need to stop. They need to slow the fuck down.
They're actually Bob Iger said they're gonna slow down on the small screen, on the big screen.
But they just released 3 new trailers.
Yeah, for video games and like TV.
My point. Yeah, my point.
Yeah, that's true. That I will give him that much. You know what I mean? Like here's the thing though. I love Star Wars. I will see The Mandalorian. I will watch Episode 9, but I could give less of a shit about the video games or the comic books. Like, there's only 2 things I care about: the TV shows and the movies. And I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, slow the fuck down," and that their points are valid. But you know, it's still a big universe, and whatever. You know what I mean? But what is your thoughts on the trailers, Russell?
On the trailers?
Yeah,
they're all right. They're trailers.
Yeah.
I don't put any stock into trailers at all because like the Phantom Menace trailer is an amazing trailer.
And the movie's
that movie's trash. Yeah.
You
can take a good movie and edit it together to be a bad trailer, and you can take a bad movie and edit it together to be a good trailer.
That's
so
true.
The trailer for me is really just like, hey, this is a thing that will exist, and hopefully here's the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't. Yeah. I could have a massive. We could have an entire like hour discussion about trailers, and I could just gush about why none of the trailers are as good as the Alien trailer from the 1980s.
We will talk about that another day. You actually given me a great idea.
I did
Anyway,
know.
yeah,
I did not know.
What do you think?
I did not. Okay, I did not know about the Mandalorians. I did not know about the other one. I did watch the trailer for the next Star Wars movie.
Mhm.
For the little bit they give you, oh my god, I want to see her fight.
Yeah,
she learned so much, especially when she jumped over Ren's Skyfighter.
Yeah, absolutely. I know this is gonna be a really unpopular opinion, but okay, first of all, I love the trailer, but also I absolutely, and I know Russell's gonna like just say, "How dare you?" I absolutely love this new trilogy. I know, like the fanboys.
I would never. Yeah, no, I would never. If you love the trilogy, I'm happy for you, man.
Like, I'm very iffy on the anthology movies because like I went to go back and see Rogue One, and it's really stale. And Solo, yeah, it had a personality, but it was also bland. But the new trilogy to me has been like really deep, if you know what I mean. Like, it's a meta commentary on Star Wars. Like, it's a meta mythology, and that's what I love about it, because like our generation is so meta. You know what I mean? And you'd probably seen this, Russell, right? I know you probably disagree with me, but I thought The Last Jedi seems about, embracing the past, but also accepting there's a future. I think that was pretty cool. I think The Force Awakens, the characters in The Force Awakens are pretty good. I love Rey, Finn, and Poe. I think these guys are strong characters, and people like, we'll get into the other topic about that, but I think people online are just sort of missing the point of this whole trilogy. It's like, look, this isn't like the old Star Wars. This is the new Star Wars. This is like this generation Star Wars. Doesn't mean we can't enjoy it as adults, but I'm just saying this is their Star Wars. This is our Star Wars. And though, yeah, we're gonna have some nostalgia here and there, but at the end of the day, these are the new characters, and that's what I kind of love about that. That's just me, you know.
I really enjoy Rey, Kylo, and what's his name? Finn. Yeah. I really enjoy those three, and I think that the last big Star Wars was The Last Jedi. That has a really interesting story structure in that each one of the three main characters has two characters that are pulling them to either the light side or the dark side. I love that. There's a structure set up behind it that is really, really well placed and really good. I really think that there's something there. The problem is not all the characters stack up.
Yeah.
I think that some of the characters fall flat.
Yeah, I will agree
and
with you,
it makes some really awkward scenes. I really wanted Finn to die at the end of Last Jedi.
Oh,
shame.
I really wanted Finn to die, and I thought that the way he got Deus Ex'd out was absolute bullshit. And it was super cheesy. It was cheesy. That was cheesy bullshit. I don't like the Deus Ex.
Russell, those SJWs are gonna come after you if you say that, Russell.
Nah, don't say that. But yeah, no, I genuinely think that he got Deus Ex. I don't like a Deus Ex. That's not. There's nothing.
Yeah.
Anything charged about that sentence that I don't like Deus Ex, and that was a Deus Ex.
Yeah, I will agree with you that some of the characters have been kind of pointless. Like, what the hell is Captain Phasma's like whole journey and all of this? And like, I like Donald Gleason's like, yeah, like some of the characters of the new trilogy I've loved. Like, I do love Poe. Like, I think Poe's like a badass character that's really underutilized and should get his own show with like Finn.
Yeah.
But
I can see that.
But there's a couple of ones like Snoke, like talk about like wasted potential. But whatever.
I don't mind that. Snoke is just like Because Star Wars has always had that like overarching good versus evil thing debate going on, and they have to. It's always a generic like you can't make Emperor Palpatine have like a soft side to him. You know what I mean? You can't, because then you're justifying everything that he does. So I'm fine with Snoke being what he was, where it's like he was just a general bad guy, and they didn't really expand on that much more. I wish I saw him do more cool shit, but I don't mind that Snoke was not a horrible addition for me either.
No.
Yeah.
He was needed for that push you over the edge personality.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what you got to look at. Every one of the emperors have always been push the good out of the one that they want to turn.
Right.
And he tried to turn both kids. And if he, that's how they determined who was going to go which way and which one was going to go the other way, is how they interpreted his pushes and his requirements.
I think Last Jedi as a whole, the biggest problem with that movie is that it needed one more pass at the script. It needed one. Yeah. I feel like they ran out of time writing the story. I think they could have made it much better had they had like just a little bit of wiggle room.
Yeah.
But they're all on deadlines and shit.
Or pull part of it into the third movie.
God forbid we have to wait another 2 months to get another Star Wars movie. We've waited like what? When was between episode 3 and 7? That was like how many years?
10 years.
Yeah. God forbid we have to wait one more between like episode 7 and 8 for 8 to be good. Like,
but you've got to remember though too, the first 3 movies were made during the period of time they were made. The second 3 movies, they're trying to catch up on who these people were, and they didn't do a very good job of it. They had too many characters in the second set of 3 movies, which was supposed to be the first 3 movies to start the whole series. Some of the characters are like, why?
There's a lot of miscast in
Jar Jar Binks, was he really needed for the movie? No.
Absolutely not, no.
Well, he was a comic relief that was not really needed. It was like they're trying to make something out of him, and they really didn't need him. They had enough other things.
You get Sam Jackson, who's infamous for like bringing anger and like screaming at people, and then you cast him as Mace Windu, a character that always keeps his temper. Why? Why'd you do that? It's like putting Jack Nicholson in that role. Like, no, he's supposed to be the angry guy. That's the actor you get when you need a character to be angry at someone.
But you look at the second 3 of movies, they took names and put them into the characters. Where the current trilogy they're doing, we did not know these people before they started acting. They hardly had
That's the way it should be, yeah.
Yep.
It's pretty funny though. Like, trying to get off topic here, but I've noticed something really funny in the geek culture sphere. Like, people are totally fine with like all these like Marvel shows, but like like the moment like a live action Star Wars show is saying it's like it's too many, but whatever. That's what I'm finding kind of funny about it. It's like, yeah, but like they've been doing the same thing of like Marvel.
Oh, I think Marvel is having the same problem.
You
have to know the right people.
I think Captain Marvel is relatively like generic, I guess. It's just another superhero movie.
Yeah, I mean,
they've all been just another superhero movie for a little while. They've been getting better because their villains have been the writing and the villains have been getting much better. Killmonger's amazing.
I don't know, man. Like I think like back in like 2014 and 15 maybe, but like Phase 3 is sort of like we'll get more into this later, but they've sort of like leveled up their movies. I think Civil War, Infinity War, and even Spider-Man Homecoming, Black Panther, Thor Ragnarok, like all of those movies to me are like fucking awesome. I know like I'm in the minority because it's kind of cool to hate Marvel now, but I still think those are some of the best comic book movies I've seen in a while. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I thought
absolutely. That one's
Yeah, like they're really deep. I mean, yeah, there's some that are like fall behind the wayside, but then again, there's like 22 movies in the MCU, but
Well, if you're talking about oversaturation, I think that is a problem, though.
That's true.
I don't get me wrong. There's positive qualities about every one of these movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Like,
they tied a lot of pieces together in each of those movies.
and
Yeah.
I think my biggest complaint about the Marvel like franchise
go.
as a whole,
No
I
worries.
guess if we're okay to go on to
Sure.
my biggest complaint about that is that up until Infinity War is the big asterisk now because of course it is, but up until Infinity War, let's count the number of Marvel heroes that died. Okay? We've got first of all, first one to die was Coulson, and then he got retconned in like the first 30 minutes of the movie being out.
Yeah.
His death got retconned. So Coulson, retcon. Then we had the next like hero Marvel death was
Yondu.
Yondu didn't happen until
the Warriors 3,
much
they're
later.
dead. Let's see here.
Who?
The Warriors 3 are dead. I think Sif's dead, I believe.
Who?
Like you know, like those.
But no,
four
that's my
guys in
point.
Thor?
That's my point. Like Iron Man didn't die, Thor didn't die, Captain America didn't die. None of their main characters are dying.
Yeah, I
They
think it's
don't
gonna
get
change in a couple weeks, though.
consequences.
But the thing is, the Marvel Universe, Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America are the trilogy.
Yeah.
They're the strong. It's just like with DC's. It's Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. There's always a trilogy of characters who are the standard of how they develop their series.
And DC fucked it up in the other direction in that they killed off their character too quickly and nobody believed that he was gone.
Yeah.
You need to Marvel should have killed off someone in Ultron. Someone big in Ultron.
They killed they killed Quicksilver.
Yeah, Quicksilver was a good guy for literally 8 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
We've lost Coulson, but Coulson came back. We've lost Quicksilver, but Quicksilver was only good for 8 minutes. We've lost Anthony, who is Ant-Man's aunt.
Yeah.
I'm talking about in the movies specifically. Like, there's no loss on the good guys' side until Infinity War, and then there's all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what's kind of brilliant about Infinity War is that it's sort of
like I think that's my problem with it. I'm glad the movie ended where
Gamora
it did.
Died. Vision died.
Yeah, a ton of people got turned to ash, but that doesn't mean
no,
that they can't.
I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about like a bunch of people died and like physically Loki died. Yeah, Vision died. Who else? Like there's been like the Ancient One's dead. Like there's been a lot of death just not of the main characters. You know what I mean?
That's my point. I think they need to do that. That's because like having a movie where none of the characters that we really care about die.
Jeez. You want a bloodbath?
Yeah. It's called Infinity War.
Okay.
Jesus. Anyway.
That's what it's for, right? That's what this whole shit is for.
Right? I think we could do a whole series just based on Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
I think so too. Totally, completely.
And
I
think we need to do it just before.
We will actually. I believe so. Yeah. We'll definitely do that, folks. Saturday, April 26th, April 27th, we will have a full panel discussion about that. So that'll be pretty cool. So you guys gave me a great idea. So yeah, anyway, but are you excited for like any of the new Phase 4 movies, Russ? So I'm guessing you're going to be kind of like off after Endgame.
No. I'm never going to be off. Okay, here's the thing about me. I will complain about a lot of movies. I'll complain about specific technical aspects of shit. I love all movies. I genuinely do. If I go to a movie, it's either going to be, in my mind, it's either going to be really good and I'm going to enjoy my time, or it's going to be really bad and I can analyze how it went wrong and how you can make it better.
Yep.
Either way, it's a win-win for me. I enjoy it. I have fun, and I think that they're all fun. So
we'll get more into that later. But yeah, anyway, I still love the Marvel movies. I don't know. I disagree with you on a couple.
I do too. I love them all.
They're really awesome. They really get to me. But yeah, Captain Marvel is kind of but whatever. Like
like Ant-Man, like there's a couple. There's like Ant-Man is trash. I don't like Ant-Man.
Ant-Man and the Wasp is worse to me. I mean,
Yeah,
not
both
yeah,
of them. I don't like his series. I like Ant-Man the character when he's in other shit,
yeah.
but his solo movies aren't. They don't have a style to them. They don't have like a point.
Yeah, but I do agree. But there actually is one that I think everybody thinks is underrated, and that's
Which one?
Spider-Man: Homecoming. I love that movie.
Oh, that one's fantastic. Yeah,
That Spider-Man like is totally me. Like,
the Vulture is like. I think the Vulture next to Thanos is their best written villain.
yeah, absolutely. I think wait, Hell was pretty good. Anyway, we're getting off topic here.
Yes, we are.
Hello was all right.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, we're gonna get on to here. So like guys like the trailer. Okay, cool. Anyway, so we're gonna get into the Batman casting. So it was some guy from Game of Thrones, I believe.
Some guy from Game of
He's
Thrones.
some guy from Game of Thrones. That's pretty much what all of them are. Like,
What's
who
his name?
cares about
Yeah, pretty much.
names, right?
Oh, I do. I work in the industry.
Screw it.
I have to.
Some guy from Game of Thrones. My ass.
So wait, is this for this is for Titans, right?
Yeah.
This is the Titans TV show.
I'm
That
so
looks so bad. Ow.
What show are you talking about?
Titans. Here.
Titans.
I got the name right here. I'm complaining all the time, Russell. Ian Glenn.
Ian Glenn.
Yeah.
Stop complaining.
Yeah. Game of Thrones.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you talking the
Yeah.
DC Universe Titan?
Yeah, that one.
So,
That's pretty cool.
Here's one that might throw you through a loop.
Yeah.
I like Teen Titans Go. I don't mind it.
Wow.
It took me a while to come around to it, but I grew up with my two shows growing up were Teen Titans and the Batman animated series.
Both
So
movies.
when Teen Titans Go first came out, I was like, this is trash. This is not Teen Titans. It's not.
It was garbage.
But I've accepted that.
Yeah.
And once I accepted that, and I accepted that it was for a different audience, the show became much, much better because I was able to notice like the writers are actually still there.
Yeah.
The writers are still there. The characters are still not the characters. That's the problem. The characters will change. But the voice actors are still there. They all want to give a good performance. They all really do, and they're trying, and I see it. It shows. But like they do things. So there's a big plot point where Beast Boy is a vegetarian, right? Beast Boy is a vegetarian in the show, and he says in the first episode he doesn't like to eat meat because he's been all of those animals. That makes sense. That's a great character thing. That's a tiny character detail that is fantastic, and never through the show do you ever see him eat meat. Whenever he has pizza, he has the cheese pizza. Everyone else has pepperoni on theirs. It's a small detail that the original Teen Titans paid attention to, but Teen Titans Go just throws out the door.
Yep.
But they did that so that way they could just like focus on being goofy and silly and show a bunch of colors.
Oh God, yes.
I like colors. I like being goofy. I like being silly. This all kind of still works. I wish there was less fart jokes. I don't like fart jokes. But every now and then they have a lot of like really subtle they have a lot of really subtle humor in there that it doesn't show often. I don't advise everybody go watch this show. It's not like at all better than the original, but you know. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's going to be better than this live action version with the fuck Batman trailer.
Hey, Troy, did you actually see that show? Like, what do you think of the live action Titan show?
Oh, I've watched the whole thing. DC Universe is great for that. And one thing, I liked some of the characters they had. Some of them, they didn't do enough development on them.
For the live action?
Yeah.
Oh.
DC Universe. It's a station.
Okay.
And they get into... I'm also a very old school Titans fan. I read the comic book series for years. And they always have this problem about having to rehash it. Mm-hmm. They've redone Garth so many different times and so many different versions that I think they've screwed him over. And like you said, in the cartoon series, they did a great job of it as him being a vegetarian, which he is in the comic book. The movie, he's the same in the TV series. He's the same thing. He is a vegetarian, and the reason why is like he says, because he freaks out if he has blood. If he's attacked someone and hurt someone, he freaks out. So the TV series version is quite well done on DC Universe. The thing is, though, some of the characters they make them too human. They don't make them what they were in the cartoon series or in the old comic book series.
Like, I'm fine with like new iterations of things. Like Doom Patrol looks decent.
It is.
I haven't seen it yet.
Jeez, man, you gotta catch up.
Are you kidding me?
That's another series that's another station you have to pay for.
Yeah, I ain't paying.
I bought it when
That's
it was a discount price.
Yeah, like I said, I usually watch things in like big spurts.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Russell. That's what they all say. Just kidding.
Yeah. Oh Jesus, I haven't had time for.
Yeah, but who really
in a
does
while.
though when you think about it, right?
It's true, exactly. So
anyway, yeah, I actually haven't watched the Titan series, so I would be completely useless on this because like Josh just like sent me these like random articles and I'm like, okay, I guess I gotta put them on the show.
Here, hold on.
So that gives everybody a chance to understand. Hey, you haven't seen this. Other people have. What's good about it? What do they think is good about it? Sometimes they'll make you go like, that's something I may have to look at now.
Yep,
just to see that, yep.
I do not like the character designs at all.
For
anyone in Titans.
Are you talking the TV series or the animated?
No, the animated is perfection.
Okay.
I use the animated as like my go-to example in a lot of like storytelling stuff when I teach.
But DC Universe ones, yes, they did.
Yeah,
a little bit on the costume designs and everything else.
I don't know why they went so far in the other direction with Starfire. She doesn't read like an alien anymore.
Nope.
Yeah.
She doesn't read at all like an alien.
I think that's pretty. Yeah, it's true. I get you. Yeah, but you know, it's a fucking comic book show. So, like, I mean,
well, that's my point. Is that like we're supposed to be like, if we're critiquing this, we can't just give them the credit. Oh, it's a comic book show. We can let that slide. Like that's the. I think that you're not allowed to use that as a like cover.
There you go. Okay.
You know,
fair point.
It's a show first. It's a comic book adaptation second.
The actress they got is good.
I like the actress.
They don't explain her background as well as they could to really show who she is the bad point.
Okay.
And stuff. They really don't develop her character as they should with some of the other ones. They make her too human instead of being an extraterrestrial from a planet where they're us in ways, but their skin tone is maybe,
Yeah.
All right.
I think they did a good job, but they don't do her background justice.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, we're gonna move on. I got a couple more stories here. So like here's another one. Hellboy bombed.
I have not seen Hellboy yet.
I haven't either.
Although when a movie advertises the fact that it swears as like a selling point, that's never a good sign.
You know it's shit by that point. I don't mean to sound like world-class bullshitters. But,
I don't want to say anything good or bad about that movie until I see it, but I will say that isn't a good sign.
There you go. Yeah. Anyway, that's interesting. Anyway, we're gonna move on to a couple of more topics here, and then we'll get to the review section. You guys got movies that you want to talk about?
Sure, I got a movie I can talk about.
All right. Let me see here. All right.
Tell me when you want it.
Okay, it's all right. Shazam. Okay,
Shazam 2.
Shazam 2.
Wow, that was fast.
That's green lit. Yeah, that's something that's happening. That's pretty cool. I
Actually,
want the
it's
first
one of the
one.
better DC movies in a while.
Yeah,
I've always loved Shazam the character, so I'm
you see the
excited to
movie?
see this movie. Yeah,
Holy moly!
I like. So, all right, quick question. So out of the comic books that you guys have read,
Mm-hmm.
do you guys have like a standout favorite?
What?
Just comic books in general.
Oh, it's gonna surprise a lot of you. I don't actually read a lot of comic books, but I've read a couple of Spider-Mans, a couple of Star Wars ones, a couple of
Uh,
the Poe Dameron series one that was pretty good.
hmm,
Yeah, that's the thing I love about Star Wars, that it's like a big universe and like you could like expand these different stories. I know it's like kind of turns people off, and I get that, but
I we could talk about the expanded universe because honestly, like the best expanded universe is still the Tarantino one.
yeah.
But
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh, what did you think that once? No, we gotta keep going here.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
Yeah, that was pretty
that's
good.
gonna be so fucking good.
I know, right?
Everything Tarantino touches is gold.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like we talked about that a couple of weeks ago, but the whole thing just like went shitty. But yeah, whatever. So yeah, Shazam 2, that's coming out. So that would be pretty cool. We got the Tomb Raider 2 announced. I don't know why this is getting a sequel. It was bad, but
I never saw the first one.
it was pretty bland. It wasn't like
I
think
I'm excited for it. Uh, I I really think that you can take a video game and make it into a good movie.
Oh yeah,
But
absolutely.
here's the thing. If every single video game movie keeps bombing,
Yeah.
we're never going to get that movie. We just
I got
need
a
to
feeling.
push through the bombing.
I have a
Like
feeling it's gonna be Detective Pikachu. I think that's gonna be the first great video game movie. It's got a great director, a great cast. I think that's gonna be the first good Pokemon.
yeah,
I think it
first good
will.
first good
First good
Pokemon movie
movie.
was the first animated Pokemon movie with Mewtwo.
No, I'm talking about
Like,
the first good like video game movie, not Pokemon movie. But if it's like
yeah.
like I feel like once the comic book movie genre dies down and like that's gonna be not until like a couple more years, I think the video game thing is gonna like take its place because it only like makes sense, right?
So, oh yeah, a little. Actually, yeah, that's a good point.
It makes so
Yeah,
much sense, right? Because if like comic books are
so
sort
much
of
more
like
content. Yeah.
and plus like the fact that like video games are such like a hot button issue, which is fucking stupid to me. Like it's just like you know what I mean?
Well, they keep promising Neil Blomkamp like a Halo movie, and I
No, Neil
want that more
Blomkamp's
than
actually working on
anything.
a RoboCop sequel,
I
actually.
know. Yeah, but
I'm actually pretty hyped for that.
both District 9 and Elysium started as Halo movies.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah. They
On
did?
separate occasions, they both started as Halo movies. That's why the aliens in District 9 look like modified
Oh,
elites.
that's all I could think of when I saw that.
Yeah. I want to be honest with you. I like
Elysium was supposed to be the Halo ring. It's a floating ring in space that floats over Earth.
I don't know about that. But like I think Neil Blomkamp is a talented filmmaker. I just think he like can't I just think he needs like restrictions, right? Like here's the thing about creativity. It's good with restrictions, but if it's like let loose and wild, like untamed, then it could sometimes it works. I mean you got like Interstellar and Interstellar and some other ones, but then
I
you get
think,
other ones like did you ever see this movie Sorry to Bother You?
yeah.
That movie? Oh
Yeah.
my,
No,
it was a bitch to get through. Like it was uncomfortable. It like the
Yeah,
part
it was supposed to be, though.
yeah, I know. Like the part the horse people was just stupid to me. It's like what the hell is this, right? And I get
Yeah.
the metaphor, and then you like seen Mother. Oh, that was a little bit cringe, but but hey,
Mother was fine as well. I
it was.
didn't mind
I
either
mean,
of
I'm
them.
not saying like I'm not deterring anybody from them, but yeah. I mean, I liked both of them, but they just were, if somebody could have said, hey, maybe if you like streamline it just a little bit, it could have been better. You know what I mean?
No, no. I'd rather have a movie where a director has complete control and the movie flops because the director had complete control, rather than another Suicide Squad where the reason the movie flopped is because the studio stepped in and changed a bunch of shit to make it more streamlined and mainstream.
I mean, I'm not saying like do like a full studio rewind thing, but just maybe like just make it like a little more digestible, just a tiny bit.
No, fuck that. Fuck that. You want to digest it? That's what the director's there for. That's his job. If he's not doing his job, then he's not doing his job.
There you go. Ouch.
Look how many people freaked over about Deadpool.
Wait, what about Deadpool?
How many people were freaking out because Deadpool was not kid friendly?
Oh my god, those are just people that didn't know about the Deadpool as a character, though. That's not
and the thing
Deadpool's fault.
The thing is, his character was really based on the comic book. I mean, they really did a good job of interpretation. And,
it's true.
And parents get upset about it. It's like, did you not read your kid? Were you just buying those comic books for your kids and did not look at them?
Yeah,
right.
Okay. I'll give you like a good example of like some really like good like art like films that I think are really good. Like I think Arrival was great.
Yeah.
Like, Arrival was good. Like Green Book I thought was pretty good. The Moonlight, La La Land. Those movies are like definitely like creative, like genius films, but they're also like digestible. My problem with like some of these like I mean, look, again, they're free to like create whatever they want, and I'll probably watch it, but I'm just like I feel like not everything has to be like La La Land, but I feel like if it was just a little more digestible again, I'm not saying that those films are terrible. I'm just saying, you know, it's maybe a little out there for my taste, but you know, whatever. What do I know, right? I'm just a 19-year-old dork who like lives in Washington, right?
Hey, you have a podcast. That means you got some shit. You know, at least something.
Thanks. Yeah. Anyway, we gotta wrap this up here. So finally, we're gonna talk about the Atom Family trailer. If anybody actually cares about that, like, here's the thing though, like, people are actually getting mad about this trailer, and I'm like, what? Like, who fucking cares? Like, it's just it's another animated movie. If you want to go see it, great. If you don't want to, you don't have to. It's just like it kind of goes back to like what I said like on my Facebook page is like, look, man, if you don't want to go see remakes, reboots, sequels, you don't have to. Like, there's like so much original content like spewing out of the fucking streaming services that you could probably like make a diet off of like just watching the streaming service stuff. And most of it is original. Yeah, some of them are remakes. Yeah, like a small portion of them are remake sequels, but you can just avoid those. Like, you don't have to like click on it, right? You don't have to buy that ticket. And people that want to, they can. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just so tired of this, like, oh, I mean, look, we are in a very like nostalgic time, but I feel like there also is like some pretty good, like, awesome original films out there that nobody goes to see. So if you want to change something, stop talking about it and start doing it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And like the Addams Family trailer, like people are like angry. Oh man, and this is actually fucking real. They think like the fat dude's not attractive because he's voiced by Oscar. And I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, that's stupid. Like,
what?
Like they think like Oscar.
It's a cartoon. No one should be upset about someone not being attractive.
Yeah, like like a kid was watching the cartoons and the mom was like, "Geez, that Gore guy, he's not fuckable."
Oh Lord!
Like,
I haven't heard any of those specific complaints, but if that is
like, he just pointed it out and like Corey's like, really, people, like, out of all the things in the world, like, this is what you're angry about. It's like, oh, whatever. Anyway, that's it for the news section. Now we're gonna go into the review section.
I'm watching the trailer right now because I haven't seen this.
Yeah.
A small detail that I really like. Wendy's pigtails are nooses now.
Oh, really?
Oh,
I like that.
Okay.
Or Wednesday. Yeah.
Wednesday.
Wednesday's pigtails are nooses. I like. Okay. So I like the Addams Family. I used to like it a lot, and my cast isn't horrible. Nick Kroll scares me, but Oscar Isaac. Yeah, I don't. This doesn't look horrible, actually.
Yeah, it looks fine. Like, look, just like reboots may seem like a big deal to us, but in the grand scheme of things, they're not as like, okay, as long as like they're not like murdering people, like actually murdering people, like it's not a big deal. It's sort of like, also people kind of compare like movies to food, which I think is like a very bad mistake because like honestly, like too much TV isn't great for you. So like even like watching a good movie like at the screen, like a bunch of good movies like for like a couple of hours isn't exactly the greatest for you. So all I'm just saying is like, look, man, this is just content. It may be a commodity, but it's not like it's not the end of the world if like if something gets remade. All right. You still have the original. You can still watch like other content, you don't have to watch it. It's just you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And people that want to are excited to see it, let them be excited for it. Like, come on, like everybody's
exactly.
have something to if they want to go see. Like, fuck. Like I know it's really unpopular to like Star Wars stuff, but damn, I'm actually excited for the Mandalorian in episode 9. But we'll get into that.
There's nothing wrong with liking shit at all.
Absolutely.
Please do. I love it when people are enthusiastic about something.
That's
It's
great.
like
That's
the
all.
best.
Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna go on to the review section here. So I'm gonna start out here first. I got a couple of movies that I've seen. Like I saw the Hellboy reboot. That was complete utter garbage.
Okay.
It was awful. It was really bad. And I know people saying, "Oh, it's just a reboot." It's like, no, it's not. It doesn't suck because it's a reboot. It just sucks because of the direction and like the
Because the
CGI.
movie's bad.
Yeah, it's like it's not. It doesn't suck because it's a reboot. It just sucks because the CGI is bad. The characters are bad. Like David Harbour rocks as Hellboy, but like the whole story just falls apart like immediately. It's just like I don't know. It sucked. The other one was another Netflix original film here. I'm trying to look up the name here. Um, okay, here it is. It was oh, it was what the hell was it? Like I have it right here. Oh, wait. I saw Mute. It was like Duncan Jones's like movie back in 2018. Yeah, it was all right. It wasn't like as bad as Warcraft. Here's the thing of like here's the thing of like all these like fake like director guys. Like Duncan Jones and Neil Blomkamp are basically the same person. Like they have like this. They basically both made the same mistakes. They got too big, and they sort of like let their like they sort of like got toasted by their names. I mean, again, I love both these directors, but I think their like recent workflow hasn't been all that great. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
don't.
I mean, if you like them, that's totally fine. But I think Mute was not a great film.
I haven't seen Mute. I do. I Warcraft wasn't great, and again, I think it's just because we're experimenting. We're in that sort of experimental phase. Like it took a while for the Marvel movies to really kick in, and for everyone to fully like be on the same page with how the Marvel movies work and how this like extended universe works. Video games are just stalling out longer
Yeah.
before that happens, and I think that Warcraft was a push in the right direction, but it wasn't the full step.
Yeah.
So I don't mind Warcraft. I haven't seen Mute. I like Source Code. I like Moon.
Yeah.
So like Duncan Jones is I like him still. I have no problem with where he goes.
Absolutely.
I don't think that
Same with Neil Blomkamp. I like both these guys, but I just wish like they could just sort of like like rein themselves in a little bit. You know what I mean? Like nothing wrong with them, and I'm excited for Neil Blomkamp's new movie, like the RoboCop returns. And I know I'm a nostalgic cuck, but whatever. I get it, but I'm excited for it. I think he's got a good one. He was actually supposed to do an Alien film, but then Ridley Scott just kind of like blow that away. Oh, hey, speaking of Marvel, like it was off topic, but that PewDiePie Marvel takedown video was just so cringe. But then again, PewDiePie is kind of cringe.
yeah, I was about to say as soon as you said PewDiePie, I have no idea.
like PewDiePie to me, like
Subscribe to PewDiePie, by the way.
Gross. No, I refuse.
Subscribe.
No. Yeah, like that guy, like I don't know, like not a big fan of PewDiePie nor Bill Maher. None of those two guys. I hate those guys.
Yeah, I feel like this is not the. Let's keep it to movies.
That's true. Anyway, we'll talk about that in the other podcast. Anyway, so yeah, Hellboy, bad, Mute, kind of terrible, but whatever. What the hell do I know, right? Anyway, what do you guys have?
So, Troy, would you like to go? Do you have a movie that you would like to?
For
discuss?
myself was seeing Shazam.
Okay.
I was very pleased with the fact that it was a very good modern adaptation of the original Shazam series of the comic book.
Mm-hmm.
At least they did not fall in that whole bad TV show series they used to do back in the 70s and 80s, which sucked. I think they did a very good job. They covered the sins. I don't like the fact that they made, though, the evil doctor as the villain, like he was. He was never given the powers. I didn't like that part. Otherwise, I like the fact that all the foster kids became the part of the family. And
Yeah.
for the end section, and they covered it amazingly with the characters. I think they did a very good job of picking in the fact that what was the young girl's name? Dolores, wasn't it?
Yeah. Dolores.
I liked her. She was amazing as the little Marvel girl, and she was just like, "Oh my gosh, I can do this!"
Yeah.
and stuff. I think they did a very good job with Shazam. I think, and the fact that they used Fawcett as part of the name, since that's the original comic book company that owned them, and how they use that as part of everything for the series. I'm looking forward to see what they do with it in the DC universe, how they bring him into the fold of the Justice League. So,
well, that's pretty cool, man. Hey,
All
what
right.
did you think of Captain Marvel, by the way, Troy? I want to get your take on
oh my God. Okay, I'm a geek to the point of I saw every little egg I could think of in that I could catch, and I'm sure I missed some. I think they did a very good job. There's a few characters that they transformed into something else than what they originally were, but they covered all the Force Works, not Force Works, the Kree Force group. They covered all the characters, Dr. Minerva, all these characters that were part of Miss Marvel's whole lifestyle as both as her normal character when she originally was Miss Marvel, to where she was binary in the X-Men, to where she went back to Captain Marvel and everything. They did an excellent job. The only thing I don't like is that they don't bring the true original Captain Marvel sequence in there somehow that would be preceding her. They did it to a point of not covering it, and I'm really not happy with that. But otherwise, I think they did an excellent job. I mean, they showed her friend's daughter, who will become or should be, figuring her age, that I hope they bring her into it as Pulsar. Or Photon is what she's named, herself is named in the Marvel universe, or something with regards to it, because she gets powers similar, So there's a lot of little things that's like they could do this, they could do this, they could do this off that storyline.
Yeah.
So as a fan of the comics, you see directions they could take.
Oh my God, yes.
Here's the thing. I'm not a fan of the comics. So when I saw the movie, it was just another I'm not a fan of the Marvel comics. I'm not super into it. I've read a couple Spider-Mans. I am much more DC. My favorite comic line is Injustice.
How dare you? Just kidding.
Injustice is a very good standalone
I
elsewhere.
love
Yeah,
Injustice. Injustice is spectacular. Anyone who's like, oh, fuck Superman, read Injustice. It's much better. It makes him so human. Oh, so good. Anyway, so when I saw Captain Marvel, it was more of just another superhero movie for me, because I didn't get those Easter eggs.
Yeah.
So I think that's where Captain Marvel sort of fall flat for me, because I think they may have relied too much on the Easter eggs. If that makes sense.
You have to be a long-term fan of Captain Marvel to understand.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I wasn't. So for me, all of those Easter eggs just kind of fell flat. And once you take those out entirely, how would you rate the movie as a standalone?
Yeah. Standalone, I rate it very well for bridging periods of time between Captain America, the first Avenger, to cover the 70s, where how the Avengers Initiative gets written
Officially,
by him, how he really loses his eye.
yeah.
All this stuff, and it's just amazing on what they did.
Yep.
They tied in details that were missing from the other shows.
Right.
They give some back history. Where Iron Man, they give some back history about who his father was and how he's tied into Captain America and everything else, and all these different steps from all the different movies, tying things in a lot better on what's happening.
See, I think that's my problem with the multiverse movie like genre as a whole, is that you need these like side movies that are just there to be glue between the good movies.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Whereas
get.
when you look at like a good sequel, my example of like the perfect sequel is Aliens to Alien. That's the way to do it. Right? Like if you've seen Alien, you understand why Ripley is afraid of going out there before everyone else saw it, because you know what horror which she went through. They don't, but you do, so you can relate to her. But if you don't, you still just see your main character as a scared person. Like it still works as a standalone movie, and that's my problem with the Marvel movies, is that they don't always. Some of them do.
I kind of disagree with you with that and something. I do agree with you on some parts that like like with aliens, like I don't know, I feel like there are some things like with aliens that you kind of see the first one with, but and yeah, some of the Marvel movies can't really stand up by themselves. Like I would kind of argue that maybe which one? Maybe like Ultron. That movie was terrible. I want to be honest with you. That movie,
Ultron was just a bunch of references.
there you go. Yeah. That one was not great, but I think like
Ant-Man,
like that like 2015 was not 2013, 2015 was not a great year cycle for Marvel, but they did have the Winter Soldier and Guardians of the Galaxy. I think there are some weaknesses with the MCU, but I think overall it's still
I don't
probably
think
mine.
it's just the MCU. I think that's like the problem with the multiverse in general. Like the theory of the multiverse is that you need full movies to just be glue to keep the movies together.
Yeah, but I think that's gonna change if like the streaming service shows. Like, I think that could be pretty cool. Like,
I
if they
don't think
just like
that's gonna.
fix that, like I don't know, but that's just me. But what do we know?
I don't know. Yeah.
But anyway, what is your movie, Russell?
So I've got three to choose from. I can go in depth on any one of these three. I'll let you choose. Okay.
Yeah.
So first is it's finals week for me, and every finals week I watch a movie called Rudy, 1993.
Nice.
Yeah, starring Sean Austin.
Yeah, we're
It's
gonna go.
about Yeah, okay. So this is he's a kid from Illinois who wants to play football for Notre Dame, but he's short, and he has some sort of he has dyslexia. It's based on a true story. Rudy Rudiger is a real person who actually went through all of this, and yeah, this is just like super uplifting, super feel good movie. At the end, you do not feel good through the most of the middle of the movie, but it's super feel good at the end, and it's like the best if you're in college and you just want like something to lift you up, like you can do it. Rudy's the go-to.
Yeah.
Outside of Rudy, there's 3 Billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Oh, that was pretty fucking good. I saw that in theaters actually.
Yeah, I love Martin McDowell. I'm really looking forward to whatever he does next, because as far as I know, he's done 3 movies and all 3 of them have been A- at best, at worst. Like 3 Billboards is the one I chose just because it's the most recent. But
damn, you're deep into this stuff, man. I just mistook you for like a nerd, but man, you're a lot of good things, man. I'm impressed.
I fucking love film. So
Same here.
3 Billboards is the most recent. I would say In Bruges is like the best in terms of him like filmmaking, technically speaking. there's a lot of really beautiful, gorgeous shots in Bruges, and what's the third is Seven Psychopaths, which is just him having fun. And honestly, all three of them are great. Just watch the trilogy. And the last one I have for you is a little movie from 2015 called The Lobster.
Oh, that was actually 2016. Actually, yeah, I've actually
I'm
seen
looking
that.
right at it on IMDb.
Colin Firth. Yeah, I love that movie. It's a great movie.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, it's the dystopian near future where if you are a single person, you are put in a hotel and you are given a certain number of days to find someone to spend the rest of your life with. If you do not find this person, they will turn you into an animal.
What?
It's never explained how, but that's part of what's fun about it, and it's an incredibly dark comedy. It is so dark.
Sort of like Sorry to Bother You type of level. You know what I mean? Like where it's just like it's hysterical, but it's also like really dark. That's what I kind of love about it.
I think this is
That's like a one exception. Like yeah, it's really dark, but it's also really well done. Yeah, it's an A24 movie, so yeah, it's pretty fucking good. That's the thing with A24 movies. They like make like really like weird like movies that I just love. But yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, anything with Colin Farrell in it is just like I like Colin Farrell a lot. So most of the things he's in.
Awesome. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, hey man, that's awesome. Anyway, we're gonna go into the final section, which is gonna be sort of like a two-part question here because I forgot to ask you guys this week. So like, why do you love your geeky things like Star Wars movies or anything like that? Like, why do you love them at this stage or any stage? I noticed that you guys comfortable with like talking about that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Go for it, Troy.
Okay, so for myself, like I said, I started being into comic books and everything else when I was like 12, and I was from a small town where you didn't have much choices for entertainment, and everything. I mean, it wasn't a small town, but it was a small town, and I'm the type of person that I have to keep my mind going. I like to draw, I like to paint, all this growing up as a kid. And I like to draw superheroes and characters and collect things. And so I started doing that. And I just happened to find a couple of things that I really enjoyed. Comic books, collectibles such as Transformers, and the historical background to Transformers, which a lot of people do not know. That they actually they come from they actually come from multiple sets of toys lines from Japan. But the original toy line actually started due to a toy made in the USA called G.I. Joe Action, which was a 12-inch G.I. Joe doll back in the 70s, which
action figure.
Action figure.
Collectible.
Oh, I know. But
Russell.
But he was fully articulate. He had 16 joints of movement, so you could pose him in fighting scenes, everything. The Japanese took it and ran with it and created a toy line called Henshin Cyborg, which, to the fact of space in Japan, they figured, okay, this toy and its pieces take up too much room, so they shrunk it. And when they shrunk it, they made a line of toys called Micromon. And it sounds like Microman in Japanese when they pronounce it. And it was the toy line that they started. And that's where we got actually Megatron from. We got Soundwave from. We got the all the toys that were cassettes and cameras and all that were actually from the Microman toy line. The other sets came from the Diaclon toys, which were all vehicles that transformed into robots. And so when it was being offered here in the United States as a run of a toy line, two companies picked it up. Mego which made the Micronauts. And what company was it? Because it's not Hasbro is not the original company that bought Transformers, but was something that was acquired by them. But then the Transformer line.
It was probably Disney.
Yeah, it was some company out there. I can't remember fully, but but the thing is, they waited too long for the series, and Star Wars came out at that time. That's why it didn't have as high as a market at first.
Oh, dang it.
Than Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone's after you.
Oh, yeah. They're after my dolls.
Yeah, but
they're full.
So what are they gonna do? Steal my debt?
Just steal your college debt, just like
yeah. I'm sorry, Troy.
No
sorry,
problem.
Troy.
But it came out that Transformers then became the line what it was in the 70s and 80s, and it's just been wow. What's going on?
They're gonna get...
They're after someone around here. But
awesome.
So that basically that was always the thing I liked, was the fact of the Transformers and Micronauts and everything, along with comic books. I've collected DC and Marvel most of the time, but I have gone with a lot of independents over the years, and like with Todd McFarlane and Spawn and all this. So I have quite a history of different comic runs and everything else of different series that I've read and stuff. But that's what got me into it, and I still to this day enjoy. It's a way to read in something and see the talent out there.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Russell, do you want to go into a in-depth analysis of why you like this stuff? And that was great, Troy, by the way.
Yeah.
So Russ, you can go in, buddy.
Yeah, sure. So I grew up in Buffalo, New York, which is a very like sport heavy town.
You look very Yorkish.
Yeah, I don't sport very well though. So yeah, so I growing up, I grew up with a little game called Halo.
Ooh, never heard of it.
Never heard of it. Yeah.
Never heard of
it. I remember it was actually a really specific moment where I was playing Halo 1, and on the second level, the first level takes place on the Pillar of Autumn. The second level is where you actually get to Halo, for those of you who haven't played. And the first thing you do is you cross this bridge, and you get this beautiful, actually breathtaking view of the ring in the skybox, and it shoots all the way up around the map. And I just remember thinking, man, I want my job to be painting that ring. I want to make the skybox. That looks so cool to me that I want to do that. And since then, I've been looking like visually. I look for things that I think I can recreate in film and shows and comics and stuff. So yeah, since then I've been like focused on story and story structure and character design and character development. Now I'm an effects artist out in Seattle.
And you still love this stuff, and it sort of like fuels your creativity. And
I still love this stuff. I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like there's always like a couple like months back, sure, that like Bill Maher thing that was just kind of like, he's like mocking the death of Stanley. And if people don't get it, they don't get it. But don't bash the people who like this stuff, even if they are like in their like 20s or 30s. It doesn't fucking matter like who likes this stuff, right? It really isn't that big of a deal.
The way I see it, when someone says something I don't like agree with or like, the best option is to ignore them.
There you go.
Just move past it. Like the shit you like. Like someone doesn't like something you like. Oh well. If they try and give you shit for it, fuck them.
Yeah, there you go.
Just ignore them.
Yeah, I've actually like during the time I've been like into this stuff, I've always been like very insecure about it. You know what I mean? Especially like after I got out of high school, I'm like, oh shit, I'm this man baby cuck now. But then I realized, as I grew into myself, I said, hey, you know what, man, I like this stuff. And guess what? Like I've grown like
you're not alone.
this stuff that I love has actually like expanded to like other interests as well. Like thanks to this, I'm actually into politics. I'm into like indie films. I'm into like making short films on YouTube. I'm actually into making this podcast about the movie stuff. I would have never been into this podcast. So again, hey man, people are gonna hate, but you know what? Just gotta get beyond it. So yeah, that's all
Exactly.
I'm saying here. And this kind of goes into like another topic I wanted to get into if you guys have time, which is like, what is wrong with YouTube criticism today? Like, what do you think of that?
Oh, we
You
need another
ready?
podcast for that. Oh boy.
Yeah, that's
Just
almost a
give your
free
like,
podcast.
just give your
Do you
like.
mean when you say YouTube criticism? Do you
I'm
mean
talking about
people
like that
that
Paul Joseph Watson video, like a
I don't
couple.
know who that
Yo,
is?
never mind, never mind. But you know, I feel like it's become very trollish, entitlement. And it's just like if it's not this way, then I absolutely hate it. I mean, nothing wrong with like disliking a movie, but it's sort of like this entitlement bullshit that I'm like, I just can't get. And like these like misogynist trolls on the internet, which is like
Okay. Yeah.
Jesus, right?
What did you mean become?
I mean,
It started that way.
it was. Yeah, you're right. And Troy's like, oh, yeah,
Well,
try to
you got to figure. I've been around for as long as I have, and trolling has been something that's always been there.
yeah,
You
Yeah.
got people that are not happy with what they do or don't like other people being happy that will try and destroy how you feel about something.
yeah,
And
Right.
they'll just do it just to be the pieces of dirt they are.
yeah. You can say shit if you wanted to.
Yeah. But look, I mean, I look at it this way. Back when you know who Felicia Day is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She's very talented. She's been an actress. She does her own podcasts. She's a gamer, everything. When World of Warcraft was first really out, and I wouldn't be surprised if I actually did play with her at some time, didn't know it. But because I've been playing World of Warcraft for years, I hit their anniversary. I get an anniversary thing every year for their thing because I've been with it for so long. But read her book. She has a book out there that explains all the stuff that she went through being a woman who liked to game.
yeah. That is pretty bullshit.
She was one of the first strong women out there to game, and she was trolled left and right. They have a thing called Gamergate, which she.
I didn't think we're talking about. I don't think we're talking about that.
Yeah. Oh no, we're going there.
This is a can of worms I wasn't ready to open.
But you know what I'm saying? They had this happen because there was women gamers out there. These guys could not handle it.
Right.
And I've had there's a lot of women I play with in the guilds I'm in that play on a regular basis that are great gamers. And the fact that some of these have had their own podcasts and everything else and stuff, or talked about things, and how certain groups of people just can't handle someone else enjoying something. They have to try and tear it down on them. Yeah. This is how things get destroyed by nature, by people being complete assholes.
Yeah.
Which is why the best thing to do is to ignore them.
Yeah.
Yep. But some people have a hard time though with that. This is why I was very glad that Rotten Tomatoes changed their policy of not allowing people to comment on a movie before it's released.
Yeah,
they allowed it, and they had so many negative comments on Captain Marvel before it even was done. They did a pre-release. Before they even did the pre-release, they had people ripping into it, and then all they did was rip it off of was all the trailers. They looked at nothing on what was happening in the movie. It was only because there was a strong woman actress.
Yeah.
Lead.
Yeah.
You know, like the only difference now is that the media is actually calling out their bullshit now.
Yeah.
So like it's a full-on war now. Like the gate. Like remember that. Yeah, it was really. It's something. We'll get more into this later. But anyway, that's gonna wrap it up for this episode, guys. Thanks for coming on, man. It was a really good conversation, guys.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Do you mind if I plug real quick?
Yeah, sure. Plug in, Russell.
Yeah. Nottherealruss.com.
All right.
If you would like to see any of my art, and Not the Real Russ on Instagram.
All right, guys. That's nottherealruss.com. I will surely add into the description. Troy, you got any last words?
No, it was quite interesting, and
Yeah.
glad I'm able to be one of the older geeks out there that can help.
That's why I started this channel, man.
Yeah, because you got geeks of every age nowadays.
Thank you for having me. I've been trying to get on this podcast.
Of course, man.
Like
That's why I want you guys on here anyway. Yeah, guys. We're gonna have you guys both on like some other time, right? Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Bye.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Always
Thanks
welcome
for watching, everybody. All right.
Of course.
Cool. We'll talk to you
Thanks for
later.
having us. Take care.
Awesome.